You did not say I'm so glad. You said you're lucky you picked up the phone because this was my last time calling.
What's up, y'all?
Welcome back to the Murray Experience.
It's Murray Mindset. What we talking about?
Where we always talk about relationship stuff.
I like it. People need help.
Are you going to debate with me today? Or are you going to be easy
It's never to go. It's never to go. I just get my point of view. Sometimes you ride with it, sometimes you don't. How about yourself? What type of energy you bringing?
Regular energy.
Let's see how that goes.
So this is a relationship podcast for couples and just our point of view on things. It don't mean it's right or wrong and it don't make it law.
Agreed. We just giving our experiences and hopefully they can help.
You got a story to tell?
Always.
You got a joke?
I don't know if it's funny.
It's probably going to make me laugh.
So today's topics, we doing what? Marriage, right?
Yes.
We've been married 17 years.
Almost 2 decades. Yeah.
Almost. Let's make it 17.
Decades. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how fun has it been?
About a 7, 8.
Consistent 7, 8?
No. Life ain't consistent. Life is ups and downs. But I believe marriage is a big decision to make, and I feel like I made the right decision.
I feel like I did too, but you're right. It has not always been a solid 8 or 9. It's been a roller coaster.
Yeah. Absolutely. An adventure.
I don't know if we ever told y'all like how we met, or not even how we met. I don't think we ever told y'all how it was when we decided to get married. Because we didn't go the traditional route with like getting down on one knee, asking people parents or nothing like that. We literally was like, we had already lived together. And if you haven't heard that story,
check out that video.
But we had already lived together. We was 2 kids in. And then one day we just was like, hey, what we gonna do?
I remember it like it was yesterday. We laying in the bed. Pam rolls over and asks me, so what we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, I said, what's the goal? Like, we living together. I was just finishing up going to school to be a cosmetology teacher. I was already a cosmetologist, going to be a teacher. And at the time, he was at like the hospital.
Yeah, I was working. At the age that we decided to have that conversation, I wasn't thinking about marriage. No way, no shape, no form. But when she presented the idea, I had to make a choice. Like, what I wanted my life to be. Do I want kids and a wife, or do I want some craziness? You know how people get down. So it was really about a choice, and I decided to make the choice.
The crazy part is, I never wanted to get married. I didn't start thinking about marriage until my mom was pressing me. Like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Y'all been together X amount of time. And then I'm just like, I would consider it. But you know me, I'm a researcher. So when she said that, it's like, what's the difference between being married and not being married? So you know me, I had to jump on Google, start looking stuff up. I remember I called the City Hall. It pretty much was saying like it's a legal binding contract between 2 people. It like makes the other person, unless you change it, it makes the other person like completely over like your estate, anything that has like your name on it. It makes you the medical decision maker for the other person.
Yeah, basically, y'all joining forces to live life, right?
Yeah, but it makes you like responsible for the other person, like on paper.
That's a big responsibility.
Yeah.
I looked at it not in that aspect, but just this is who I want to, build memories with while I live and do this thing called life. Yeah. I really wonder why your mom was pressing you about it. Did she look at it like how you were saying, or a different way?
I think my family looked at it like you have these 2 kids, give them some form of stability. And I feel like, and I've never heard nobody in my family say this, but I feel like my family feels like it's more stable if both of y'all have made that commitment. Like a visual standing commitment to each other. So I think it was just more so in that aspect. I don't know. I never felt like getting married was security. Not for me, because it's like, I'm going to make sure that it's done. I don't care what it is. Like, I don't need somebody else to make me feel secure.
Well, only they know. But for you to look at it like it's not security, but they're pressing, or I guess their values was it is security. I mean, that's a crazy, like...
A crazy contradiction. Because my thing was more so like, I love this person. I want to be with this person. But I don't need them for security. I want them there, but I don't need them there for security. And I feel like a lot of times in our community, women tend to be so strong that they're like, I don't need nobody here. I could do it all by myself. When in all actuality, I didn't learn until we were maybe 5 or 6 years in that it's not about having somebody there to take out the trash. It's not about having somebody there just in case an intruder come in, but more so having like a life partner that I can share my most intimate feelings with. All my frustrations from going to school, all my frustrations from being a salon manager, all my frustrations from like teaching class at night and then running my own hair salon during the day and being in a partnership with my dad and my brother with a barbershop. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot on my plate. So if you want to say security, it was security and knowing that I had somebody to share all of those things with when I came home at night.
I mean, all them things you speak about came later after we decided to get married. So, I mean, I guess that was what? You was looking at foresight?
You know, I'm always planning. What's the next step? Like, I know this is what we're doing now, but what's the next 3 steps to come?
Yeah, I mean, I love partnerships. So, going half on anything with somebody that you enjoy and you care about, I always think is a plus. So, I was happy. I wasn't looking at it like, I need her to cook, clean, you know, all the stuff that people think a wife should be doing. No, it was like, I like having fun with this person. I feel like we could do some dope things together.
I don't know if you remember this or not, but when Jordan, which is our firstborn, our daughter, when Jordan was graduating from her Head Start program, and that was the day that, like, they had this big celebration for them. She was about to graduate from Head Start.
They was doing a send-off.
Yes. And SpongeBob kept dancing with her and all of that. And I remember we got in the car and we were driving away, like, you know, to go back home. And I remember saying, let's drive past this school. I want to show you where I want her to go to school at. And that's when we have went into the county and we drove past the Christian Academy that I wanted her to go to. And you're like, well, can she finish like her graduation from Head Start? But I was already planning, like, this is the school that I want her to go to next. This is what I want her to do next. So it was important to me to plan. I'm also one of those people that if it doesn't go my way, I don't get bent out of shape because I'll just reconfigure my plan.
Life is very unexpected, so I would hope you
extremely unexpected
things like that. But yeah, I remember that. It was, and I also remember like I had to work that day, and Jordan thought I wasn't gonna make it. And she was like upset about it, but I showed up. It was real cinematic. It was a good time. It was
like a Tyler Perry movie.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Because you didn't even tell me. You kept telling me, like, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I can't get off. And I just was like, okay. And it was just me and her there. And she lit up and started running, and I freaked out because I'm like, well, where is she running to? And I went to go like turn to grab her. And by then she had already made it to you and was like jumping in your arms. So that was like a true Hallmark moment. That's like one of the things etched in my mind I don't think I'll ever forget.
Yeah, it feels good when, you know, people that count on you to show up for it. So.
Especially when you're like,
nice.
I wasn't able to do it, but then you make it happen.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. And, you know, always planning for the future because our next move is our best move.
I know.
So we wanted to see. Excuse me. I remember even going to Germantown Academy and sitting in orientation and things like that. We was planning.
I remember that. Because remember I kept saying in high school I wanted to take I wanted to take horseback riding lessons. And you like, what? Can she get through kindergarten and first grade first? So, but she took horseback riding lessons when she was in middle school.
We did it.
So, yeah.
We just seen it. We seen it early. We knew what we wanted. So that was good. And also with the partnership, it takes commitment.
It does. Definitely.
I feel like if you're not committed to anything, you'll fall for everything, right?
You definitely will. You got to make sure too, though, that like when you choose somebody, you're choosing somebody who compliments what it is that you're doing and not criticize it.
Absolutely. Because
I've been in relationships before where I'm like, yo, I want to try this, and oh, you can't do that. Oh, you can't do this. Like, come on. It takes so much time to do this, and this. And it's like, dang, you're real critical.
Yeah. I mean, constructive criticism, because you don't want a yes person that just, look, I'm looking to take the income tax and go do this with it. No, you don't want that, but I understand what you're talking about. Being supported goes a long way.
It does.
Because while we're building this marriage, we trying to figure out life, we still grown-ass people. Everything ain't going to always align together, but having support means a lot. And I remember, like, you going to cosmetology school, you going to this, you going to that. Let's do it. Let's do it. Pharmacy tech. I remember. Let's do it.
I remember you going to college And you was taking them classes and stuff at night, and I'm up helping you write papers and stuff. Oh, we used to be so tired.
Trying to get
write
things
these
done,
papers, cook them. Remember I burnt that meatloaf?
It was burnt on one side.
I
You know,
remember
just,
that. That was
just
crazy.
a little scraping.
That was crazy.
Extra sauce. It went down.
Yeah,
it was
we
cool.
had a lot of great times.
Yeah. And like the way we met was just like, I don't know how you could ever describe it. Like I was in an area where I normally don't go.
And I was on a block that first of all, you would never see me on the block. But then, just so happenly, I got off early that day. And went somewhere that I hardly ever go.
Well, I thank God that you was that you got off early because I peeped you in your work attire. You ain't look like no bum.
I know, but everybody was like, I don't know. My girlfriend kept saying, "You look so crazy. You look like a square."
No, it worked out for me.
She kept saying I look like I sell insurance.
I just knew you had a job.
Oh my
I was
goodness.
like, okay, I like that.
That's crazy because when you was like, I said, oh, "This your car?" And you was like, "Yeah, this my car." I'm like, shocked because everybody that I kept running into didn't have a car. Oh, you think this is a community car? Go ahead with that, Jody.
You just be running into people, not knowing where you gonna land. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I seen you visiting my cousin. Haven't seen him in a while, so like I said earlier, I wasn't known to be around there. And then for you to pull up, it changed our lives.
It definitely did, because I went to, like, my girlfriend's grandma's house. It wasn't even her house. And I was going there to meet her and pick her up. And normally, I don't know, when I was younger, like, my parents always told me, like, don't be having 4 and 5 people in the car with you when you ride. So it was hardly ever that I was like, I was the I'll meet y'all there person. So it was rare for me to be going to go pick somebody up. And we was loading up the car and, I think we was going to the mall. But, and her car had went down. It was like overheating and stuff, so I remember that.
Back to driving people. Huh?
Yeah, so I had took her to the shop to like put the down payment on her car, and then we was going to the mall. I remember saying to her like, "Do you know him? Like, who's that guy that's over there?" And she was saying, "Well, he don't really be around here too much." She was like, "I know who he's standing next to."
At that time.
But she was like, "I don't know the other guy on the other side." I was like, "Cause he said that he don't be around here." She was like, "I don't know him," and.
Yeah, because like growing up, I used to be around there all the time, but life changes. We working now. It's been a while, and then for me to slide down there, and then for you to be on the block, it just was like. And she tried to play me at first, like gave me the number. First couple times I called,
I was busy.
Trying to spend me.
I was busy.
And the last time I called her, I told her like,
you was very rude on the phone.
I'm so glad you picked up the phone because I wasn't calling again.
You did not say I'm so glad. You said you're lucky you picked up the phone because this was my last time calling.
Tomato. I mean.
End of quote.
I just felt like you don't want to talk to me.
But after you said that, all I could do was laugh. I'm like, excuse me, how can you say that to somebody on the phone? You're like, I'm just being honest.
She respected it.
I definitely did because like you was like, listen. This is what it is, and
I was trying to get to know you. I was trying to get to know you. You ain't want to be friends at first.
We talked on the phone for like almost 3 hours.
Yeah, that day that we finally got on there. It was a good conversation.
Our first date was like amazing too.
Yeah, I remember we went to Carrabba's.
It was called Houlihan's.
On City Line.
Yep, we went to Houlihan's, and I remember that was your first time trying calamari.
Yeah. Changed my life. And
we remember we was just like, oh, let's try this. Oh, let's try this. Oh, let's try that. And then when the bill came, I'm like, all right, let's just go half and half.
Partnership. Then right there, I knew I could, if I could split bread with you, because people act funny with their money.
They do.
But if you willing to dig in your pocket, I can get down with you. Because as long as I know you're going to do that, I'll do it. And vice versa.
I always looked at it like, I always wanted to be able to carry my own weight. Yes, I do like being spoiled and taken care of, but at the same time, I like to do that for my partner or my spouse too. Like, we're all human beings. I would want somebody to do that for my brothers. I would think you would want somebody to do that for your sisters. So it's just like,
and we teaching our daughter and son
the same thing. Like, don't
carry your own weight,
and don't nobody want to feel like they're being taken advantage of.
I mean,
that's for the weak. People weak out here.
It's definitely not a good feeling. I got stories of being taken advantage of.
No, that is so corny.
For sure. But once you did that, I was like, yeah, I like this girl. And, we could just continue to date.
We went a lot of places. We went to the Blacks and Wax Museum. I never liked the movies, so I wasn't big on that. Going out to eat, going to the mall, going to museums. That was like R1, 2.
The museum was all that. We went to Baltimore ate on the waterfront. It was dope.
Oh yeah, it was.
And just those times I felt like carried us for, moments like this when we're years in.
Yeah.
Like we was building at that time, just talking and stuff. You know what I mean?
I knew it was like different with us when anybody who know me know I could wake up tomorrow morning and be like, yo, I want to try this, or I want to go do this. And you was like supportive of it. And then as years went on and we used to like just sit down and talk, you're like, yo, you really not the person that I met. So it's not just about choosing the right person now. It's about constantly choosing that person even when they change.
Hopefully they changing for the better. And I wouldn't want you to accept some bullshit if they change and, giving you more headaches than, you know what I'm saying,
That's
good
fine.
days.
Some heart, too.
For sure. But I really believe that I never knew, like, when you was telling me these ideas, like, if they was going to work. But I don't know. I just trust you. And it was really no us without trust. So,
yeah,
it worked.
Definitely.
At the time.
Because even when I did pharmacy tech, when my grandmom had got sick, and I decided, like, yo, I'm going to go to school for pharmacy tech because I want to be able to take care of her. They kept putting on all this medication. They was tripping. And I went to school for that, and you would come down there and check on me, make sure I had lunch and stuff like that. And that was after Jordan was already born. So it was like you was in between going to the hospital and working your security job at night, making sure that we was cool. That was a wild time too.
Yeah.
Like we was
busy.
But
I never complained.
Busy.
And then goes back to the story, we laying in the bed and we at the towers and you like, what's up? And at the time, I didn't think about marriage. I'm just trying to figure everything else out. I felt like I got to make a choice. How do I want my life to go? And I decided, a wife and a family. Because I once read that you can't be rich if you don't take care of the family. Mm-hmm. So I knew it was a good thing for me.
It was fun. It was a good time.
We decided, and then we did it.
I remember after we decided, like, all right, we want to try it. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to call my uncle. Then if I call my uncle, that's it. Like, I'm not going to be able to take it back. And you like, okay. Because when I call my uncle is a pastor. And I was telling him, like, hey, me and Eric talked about some things, and we're going to go ahead and get married. And I remember he said, well, because at the time, it was like the beginning of May. He said the next opening date that I have is June 26th. And it was a Sunday. And I said, all right, I'm going to get married after the first service. And he said, okay. And then from there, I was asking my cousin to make my dress. You had already had a suit from a previous event that we had went to. Yep.
And the tuck.
And yeah, Jordan had been everybody in the world's flower girl, so she already had her dress.
At the time, Jaden was born, so.
Yep.
And they were our grooms and.
Yeah, he was your best man, and she was the flower girl.
I wouldn't want it no other way.
Yep, it was just the four of us and my uncle standing up there. And remember, my dad came.
Nice and
dressed, ready to paint the living room and get up on the roof. And my mom was so mad. Like, why are you here dressed like that?
The aesthetics, I ain't really tripped.
Me
I'm
either.
mad. I'm just glad he showed up.
Yeah.
Come as you are.
So what was that? It took us maybe 3 weeks to plan it. Then from there, we went to Cheesecake Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm like so enamored with the Cheesecake Factory.
I don't know.
I don't know why either. And I know you be so frustrated, but I really like the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah, it's good. But I know a chef that makes he makes the best linguine this side of the Mississippi. So
I don't know what it is about it that I love so much. Yep, and we just all met up there, ate, and then we went to New York for 2 days.
Yep. And the Big Apple.
Yep, that was fun.
If I can be at this point in my life and marriage, I wouldn't change anything. And we done went through some shit. We did.
Major stuff.
But I wouldn't change it if I could be right here looking towards the future. I
know a lot of the time, a lot of my friends and family kept asking me, like, you didn't want to have a reception? And the older I get, the more experiences I have. No, I don't. Receptions be ridiculous. People get to be in ridiculous where they got to sit. Yeah. I remember at my younger brother's wedding, they was like tripping over who was sitting with who. Like, sit down, you're food free, dance.
I mean, the guests usually make it about them, and that's what ruins it. But I just was never into, like, paying people to party with me or joining my celebration. Like, I'm real intimate with things that I like to do. So it just worked out. Most of the time, they ain't happy you getting married anyway, because they ain't married. You know how things go, man. I ain't want to be feeding them, and they at the table whispering about me.
And my mom a party planner, and I still was like, Mom, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. No, it didn't have nothing to do with like the everyday things that people just like. I have to have this when I get married. I have to have this. I'm gonna be able to wear this dress and that dress. Yeah. I mean, I still wore white.
I gotta live this life, so I'm gonna always make the decision that's best for me. Never to make others feel better about it. Like, no, I'm good.
I know 3 people who spent over 10 grand on their weddings, and all 3 of them is divorced now.
I mean,
make it
I hope they enjoyed the reception because it was money well spent. But
make it make sense.
Majority of people that get down on one knee and make it all a grand, it don't usually go like if you talk to them now, they not happy. They wish they would have went a different route. So I don't know. I know what makes me happy, and that's all I try to do.
For real, make your marriage or your relationship your own. Like, who cares what traditionally we do it this way? My family does it this way. My mom said this. My dad said this. Who cares? Figure it out with you and your spouse or your significant other, and then be like, listen, this is how we're going to approach it. This is how we're going to do it.
You got to live the life. So my advice to you is, please do it your way. And it's very subjective.
Extreme.
So
make it
what
your
works
own.
for you might not work for another couple, but it doesn't matter because it works for you. So just believe in it. Because I know outside influences and family members and friends all going to have opinions, but they shouldn't hold no weight when it comes to you actually making decisions to live your life.